In our last class, right, we built a simple quiz game with Express and MongoDB, but we didn't finish it up, right? We didn't test it. We didn't see how everything worked out together. So in this class, right, we are going to continue from where we stopped. While we were building the quiz app in our last class, we are going to continue from where we stopped. So we fixed up a middleware. So let me just go over what we did, Sha. Let me go over what we did. So let me share my screen again so you guys will see VS Code. Okay, so we are in this simple quiz app. This was the last thing we did. So remember, let me go through each file again. So we have the auth router for everything, authentication for both the users and the admin. We have the admin route for everything that concerns the admin. So of course, admins are the ones that can add questions, maybe remove questions and all those stuff, right? Then we have the users route or the users router, which is concerned with the route the users would use. Then we have a for error handler and our other handler. If there's any other error that's not for that's okay. If there's any other error apart from the for, right? So what this already, like I've explained this before, right? This here just creates an error and send it to this next error handler. So whether it's for or it's another error, right? So the status will be for if that request passed through this route. But if it doesn't pass through, maybe from this route, it came to this route, right? Then it might not be a 4, it might be a 400, a 500, or any other one, any other error. So one thing we need to do is we just need to change this to send, and I would say it should be res.locals.error. And I could just change this. So instead of putting res.status, then res.error, I'll just say res.status.send, okay, not .error. So we have that, just a little bit of refactoring. So we already know that admin route has quiz, the route to add quiz, the route to get quiz. That's the list of quiz, that's the list of questions. Then we can get a particular question. So I could also implement modifying a particular question and delete. But let's not worry about that. We have authentication that has to do with register, log in, right? Just those two. Then the user's route, we have to get a quiz by the quiz number, to get to answer a question, and then to mark the quiz. Okay. Then that's all. Then for the quiz mode, for the users model, just have full name, email, password, and role. For the quiz model, we have question number, option, 4 options, and then we have the correct option. So the correct option might be option A, option B, option C, or option D. Okay, then we have we have quiz history. So this quiz history, when you finish marking an active quiz, right? That quiz should be moved to the quiz history. So quiz history is where you can see the history of your quiz, the total score, the total correct questions, total incorrect questions you answered. Active quiz is just used to temporarily keep the active quiz. That's when you ask the question, as soon as you answer, it is saved in active quiz. So when once we query the mark, remember that users can also ask to mark their quiz. So that's maybe after answering the last question, right? You can request to mark their quiz. So when that quiz is being marked, the next thing to do would be that we are going to move all the active quiz into the quiz history model, and then we'll delete all the active quiz for that user. So Then what we also did again is we created two middlewares. The first one is to verify your token, right? Your JWT. So this middleware just checks if you have a token, yes. Then if the token strategy is bearer, then of course we take the token itself and we'll try to verify it. If we can verify the token, we create a new object in the request object called the user details, and the user details will be equals to whatever we encrypted or we encoded in our auth. Remember that while logging the user in, the JWT that we are assigning there is going to have the user ID, full name, email, and role. So here, when you verify auth, these user details will also contain the user ID, full name, email, and role also. Then, apart from that, we also wrote this role-based authorization. So what does this role-based authorization do now? This role-based authorization allows you to put in an array of roles here, right? When you put in an array of roles right here, what is returned here is a request, an express request, or an express controller, or let's just say an express middleware that is going to check if the user's role from the user's detail is part of the roles we put here. If that role, let's take for example, you said user and admin should be able to access that particular route when we are using it anywhere here. What is going to happen here is it's going to check maybe if the REQ request user details role is let's say admin, it will check if admin is part of the roles you put here to be able to access that route. If it is true, then we call the next. Next is just like saying go to the next maybe the next middleware, the next controller, right? But if the role that is in the user details is not the same as the role specified here, or is not included in the role specified here, the list of roles specified here, then we'll just send him a message that, oh, you can't access this route. Okay, so now we had an issue when we tried to, let's come here. Let me use NodeMon start. We had an issue when we said npm start. An issue came here, NodeMon not found. Okay, so I was supposed to say npm install save dev NodeMon. Okay, then yet we are going to have another issue. So another issue which I traced. So I'm waiting for NodeMon to install. So while NodeMon is installing, let me spin up a new terminal and just write npm start. So this is going to, yeah, this gives us an error. Router.use requires a middleware function, blah, blah, blah. So the reason for this is because here, when we say role-based authorization, we're using async here. But when we called, where is the role-based? Yeah, we didn't say async. Oh, sorry, await. Okay, yeah. Now we didn't even need that. What we just needed to do was, where is it? In this role-based authorization, there's no place where we are using any async, right? Sorry. Yeah, there's no place we are actually going to utilize this async. You see that there's no await here. So what we just need to do is remove this async from here. and we have it. So if we, let me come back here. Wow. Okay, so for some reasons, this is not installing. Let me install it as a full dependency. Let's see if it is going to work. So for some reasons, NodeMon is not installing. I'm supposed to say save dev. So the reason for this save dev is, of course, I don't want it to appear in the list of dependencies that will make it to the production server, because you're not going to use NodeMon when you're deploying this app on the internet, or when you're deploying your API on the internet. You're not going to use NodeMon. So there's no need for NodeMon making its way to dependencies that are going to be used on production. So we only use NodeMon for our development server. So that's why we are saying save dev. So the save dev here means save this dependency as a development dependency. It's not necessary for production. So when you're on your production environment, everything that is installed using save dev won't be installed. Only things that are your dependencies, right, are going to be installed. So while this is installing, I don't know why it's taking time. I'll just come here and run npm start to start the server. You see that there's no error now. See that there's no error. So all we need to do is we should start testing. So of course, I just need to create my test.rest, or if you want to use Postman, it's totally up to you, anyone. I love using test.rest. Yeah, RESTful REST clients. So what I can do here, I'd say I want to send a post request to HTTPS localhost 3000. So this is what I like doing. I like dividing my screen into two. Reason being that I don't have an extra monitor for now, and I've been procrastinating with buying that, but I would soon. But then the reason for this is now I can actually split my screen into two. I can check what I'm doing here and follow it up. So I could say v1/alt/. So what do we have? We have register and we have login. So I'll say /register, and then I'll say that the content type should be application/4/JSON. The full name, email, and password. Full name, email, password. Oh, sorry. Okay, so full name, I'll just say is a Victor or Victor. Email should be junior@gmail.com. Password, VICTOR. User Victor. No, let me make it that. So I'll register myself as a user. What is it saying? Oh, okay. Can someone tell me why it's not registering? I've seen the issue, but I want someone to tell me what's the issue. Why is it not registering me? Can anybody try?
HTTPS, the S.
Because I'm what?
S, that S, of course.
I'm what?
You're adding S to HTTP.
Okay, cool. Yes, that's the problem. So I added S to my HTTP. Okay, so I've created a user. I can now say admin, admin Victor. I'll say admin at admin.com. Here should be admin. So this is actually just something plain. When you're writing your, I'll show you how to do form validation on the back end later on, where you can use something like JOI, right? Joy is a tool, a package you can use to do form validation. For example, you can say the password should not be less than 6 characters or 8 characters. The password must contain special characters, all those stuff. You can use it to check if an email is a valid email, like maybe you should have @ and .com and all those necessary things for emails, right? I'll show you how to use that in one of our classes. Okay, so I've registered 2 different users, and then I can log them in. So what I'll do now is I'll simply duplicate this test.rest. Okay, I'll just simply duplicate it, and so that I could call one user.rest and I could call one admin.rest. Yeah, so that I would just know that, okay, these are for users, these are for admins, right? So let me first work on the admin part. So let me bring this guy here. I'll say to log in, I just need email and password. So I'll say log in. So I'll log in. Then what else can I do as an admin? I can log in, I can add a quiz. So I would want to add a quiz. So yeah, so I'll say admin quiz. And of course, the quiz is going to have a question number, a question, option A, option B, option C, option D. So I could do this. So I'd say option A, option B, option C, option D. Correct option. So I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know question is going to go out. So I'd say question. So question, this should be question number 1. So I don't know. Option A, 1, option B, 2, option 3, C, 3, option 4, option D is 4. What's the answer? What's the answer?
Option C.
The Nigerian flag
It's 2 colors now, 2 versions.
is option B. The green is still green on the both sides now, so it's green, white, green, so it's green and white. Got you. Okay, so first I would have to log in as an admin. what is it saying? Admin at admin.com, password is admin. It's saying user not found. Why is user not found? So let's see why that is saying user not found. So it's saying it's going to the user model and it's finding where the email is, that email. Okay, so let's see, create this, that. Await user model, then tell me that it has been created. Okay, so then login. If there is no user detail, okay, so let me come back here. Let me see, express.json is here. Okay, so that's the reason why we are here. Let's debug. So if I say console.log, I want to find the request.body. Okay. I believe by now, okay, yes, this has installed. Now, this is also, by the way, while you're installing dependencies or packages, right? NPM also looks at the vulnerability. How vulnerable is that dependency you're installing? Like, how is it vulnerable? Can that dependency be a security issue? Or does it have any security issue, right? So if you want to fix it, right, you might just write npm audit and then fix. It would fix the ones that won't require breaking changes. But if there is anyone that requires breaking change, it's going to tell you, okay, so what is it saying? It's saying there are some that requires breaking changes. So what I'll just do is I'll just say npm audit fix false. So be careful when you run this. It might break some things on your code. But the reason why I'm running it now is this code is fresh. I've not used it much, so it's still saying breaking change Jade. Okay, so I'm not using Jade. So what I'll simply do is I'll just come here. Where is Jade? Yeah, I don't need Jade, so I'll just remove Jade and I'll do npm install. So it is going to refresh node modules and remove Jade because it can't find Jade. Then you see we don't have any vulnerability, so which means the security on this project is fair. Okay, so let me crash this server and start it with nodemon. Anyone? Okay, so let me try to log in again. Okay, so it's saying /v1 /auth /login is not found. So let's see /v1 /auth. Then inside auth router, we have post to /login. Okay, so it's saying 404, but the 404 it's coming from this part saying email. Maybe the email is not found. The user is not found. So let me open up MongoDB Compass, because that's our single source of truth. That's where we'll get to know. Okay, I think I've seen, wait. So let me go here. Let me see. Okay, I call this quiz game. So we'll figure this out. I'm not really sure why this is behaving this way. It's saying user not found. Okay, so let me go over to, I think let me reshare my screen and go to Mongo Compass. Let's see. So I'll just connect, I'll go over to quiz game. Yes, quiz game. Go over to users. Okay, so we have Book of Junior registered here as a user, but we don't have the other person registered. We don't have the admin registered. So I guess I didn't hit the register button here. The role for the admin is also supposed to be admin. So let me just hit that register button and then let me come here and refresh. Okay, so I didn't hit the register button for the admin. So I'll just need to come here to change this from user to admin. I could actually create a route for admins to register, but nope, I won't do that. Okay, so we've solved that issue. The problem was that I didn't hit register when I finished filling the admin's detail. So I just filled it and tried to log in. So let's go back to VS Code. We've solved that issue. It wasn't actually an issue. So let's come back here. So if I try to log in again, yeah, we see the admin's detail is returned. I can copy this. Then for me to add a question, I'll say authorization should be bearer, and then that token there. Okay, so what is it saying? You can't access this route. Okay, yeah, so this is the thing. This is a problem. Let's see why. Okay, role is either user or admin. Here I actually changed that role to admin. And let me check here, role-based auth. Okay. So yeah, this is the problem actually. So I said while registering, right, that the role is admin, not admins. So I'll have to remove the S here. So it's admin and user, not admins. So if I try this route again, yeah, quiz created. So I've created that quiz. I can create like some other quiz, some more. So to what is the full meaning of ETA? So can anybody try? What's the full meaning of ETA? Someone should try. Nobody. Nobody. Okay. Estimated time of arrival or expected time of arrival. Yes. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So the correct answer here is going to be option C. Yeah, option C. So wait. Okay. Okay, so I didn't add, so someone is asking, I didn't add admin as a role while registering. So this is the thing. When I registered this admin, right? When I registered this admin, that's using this test.res. When I registered this admin, the role in the database was user. Okay, so let me reshare my screen to take you guys there to MongoDB, to the compass, right? So it was actually user, like the way this one is. It was user. But what I just did was after doing the registration and I saw the results here, that I saw this record here, I just came and double click here and changed the user to admin and then click update. So that changed the role from user to admin. So then after that I now logged in. Okay, so that's how I actually changed the role. So that is one alternative, one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you can actually create two routes, one route for users to register, one route for admins to register. Or you can make it that only this admin can register more admins. That's why in some implementations, you will see something like admin and super admin. And super admin is the only person that can add the admins. And maybe nobody can delete the super admin. You understand? Things like that. Maybe the super admin can give people permissions. The super admin is the one that knows everything and all those stuff. So, yeah. So you guys used to hear ETA in movies and you didn't know the meaning. So that's actually the meaning. Expected time of arrival or estimated time of arrival, right? So you learned that I think I'll just do more of abbreviations. So you guys would at least, the ones you don't know, you learn from. Maybe I'll do 5 questions. So what's the full meaning of so I'm thinking what's another abbreviation? TLDR. So who knows what's the full meaning of TLDR? Someone is saying GTA. What's the full meaning of TLDR? Anybody? I believe someone is typing it out on his comments on the comment section. So I'm waiting.
Too long, don't read.
Yeah, okay. So it's not don't read though. It's too long, didn't read. So it's an abbreviation when you're, maybe for example, someone gave you if let's say a 10-page or let's say 20 pages of maybe a story for you to read, right? And you want to tell the person that you don't have time to read the whole thing. Maybe the person should just summarize the story and tell you the important points because you won't have time to read it. So you can just be like, maybe if you're chatting with the person, you just be like TLDR. So the person will understand that it's too long and you didn't read it. So the person might give you a summary of what you need to know, right? Maybe the important points in what he sent to you. So TLDR, too low, didn't revet, too long, don't run. Too long, don't Isn't it too long? Didn't read. So the correct option would be option D, definitely. Too long, didn't read. Okay, so created again. Let's do the fourth question. What's a riddle? What riddle should I use? What riddle? Uh, so how oh I can't remember questions. Oh, okay. So let me think. What is the value of pi in maths? So option A will be 3.1415. Should be 33.25, maybe 3.0041, maybe 5.25. Okay, maybe 33.33333333 trillion trees. Of course, we know that it's 3.1415 or 3.142, as the case may be. So add that quiz. Question 5. Let's see what should we add in our fifth question. So a baby cow is called a, a baby cow is called what? Can anybody try? Someone should try now. Why people are afraid of these questions? Hmm? Nobody's saying anything. A baby cow is called what?
Half.
Hmm. See, are people actually browsing it to tell me? Because this one that is taking you people small time before you now answer. Okay, yeah, I know you guys are smart. Very smart set of people. So yes, we call it I think I should just put it in option D. Calf. I'll put here cattle. I'll put what do I put here? cat. Baby catty. All right, so the correct option will be option D. So I think we have 5 questions there. So let me check all my questions first. So let's see what's the route for me to query. Quiz, yeah, /page 1. The limit should be 10 because we have 5 quiz, so everything should show up. Hey, quiz 1 to 10. Okay, so what is it saying? Not found. What is not found, please? Okay, yeah, this that's a post request I made. So I'm supposed to change this to get. So what is it saying? Paginate. Paginate is not a function. So let's go over to the quiz model. Yeah, that's true. So paginate is not here because I didn't do this. I didn't say const let me just say, yeah, mongoose paginate equals to require mongoose paginate v2. Then down here, what I'm supposed to do is I'll then say quiz schema dot plugin. Please show up plugin, yes, and then I'll say mongoose paginate. Yeah, mongoose paginate, yes. So I didn't register that plugin there on the model, on the schema. So if I come back here and I make that request, so let me make that request again. Back beautiful. So now we have all our questions. How many colors has the Nigerian flag? We have options. What's the full meaning of TLDR? What's the value of pi in maths? What's a baby cow called? With stage 1, 3, 4, and 5. I didn't add question 2. Okay, so let me just add the second question. So question 2, yeah, a baby lion is called what? If people tell me the answer, no. A baby lion is called what? What? It's called a cub. So, baby, before you people keep me for like 2 minutes again. Fairness. Iron baby. So, someone, you people say Simba. In fact, I must hear about this. Okay. All right. So a baby lion is called a cub. So, so let's post that. Quiz created. So we now have 5 questions. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The correct answer is supposed to be cub, which is option A. So let me go to the database and just change that. So well, I'll just change that to option A. I'm supposed to no. I won't hit the save button. No. Why should I go and change it in the database when I can actually write a route to change it? Okay. So let's write that route together. I'll say route.put patch. I don't really care about the name, so I'll just say quiz. Now, this is one thing. Thank God I remember. Now, this is what I'm about to show you guys, right? You guys should take it into consideration. It's important. Now, you see how I wrote put, then I did not come and write / edit quiz. Or maybe there's a delete route. Maybe I now say router.delete. Then I now come and write delete quiz. Sorry. This is totally, the route will work, right? But it's not correct. It's not a best practice to still write the verb or the method in your route. So everybody already knows delete is to delete. So there's no need for you to come and write delete quiz again. You understand? Or put here, you now say edit quiz. It doesn't make sense. Don't do that. Or if it's a get, you now write get quiz. It doesn't really make sense. Instead of that, just leave it this way. Just leave it this way. And the Lord will bless you. You don't actually need to put. So now I'm writing it like this: quiz ID. I could actually just come here and copy everything here, Sha. Copy everything harmlessly. Just say async function. Oh, okay. REQ, RES, next. Then I'll just paste that. I'll say this dots find by ID and update. So first and foremost here, we need to say first should be req.params. So I'll say the ID, which, so remember that this ID is this ID here, right? And we know that this ID is going to be dynamic. So we can actually access it this way. Okay, so this is a parameter, right? It's always going to change. So that's why we're using it that way. So I would say quiz model.find by ID and update, and then I would say I'm finding that ID. So I'd say find by ID. The first thing I need to pass here is the ID of the record I want to update. Then the next thing here is the next option or the next values here will be the what I actually want to edit. Okay. Okay, so Precious is asking, we have not been using the next. Yeah, so the reason we are not using the next is I'm not actually handling the errors, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be no error writing this. But if we want to use the next, the simplest way for us to use it would be maybe to wrap everything in a try and catch, right? See, this reminds me of another thing. You see, when I talked about denable functions, I said, you can actually write something like this. You can say this, even anything that has await. If you don't want to use await, you can just write .then and continue. And it will work perfectly well. See .then there. Now, instead of what was supposed to be returned as maybe the record, the updated record is going to be returned here. Okay? But now, and at the end of the day, you're going to have too much of nested denable statements and all those stuff. So instead of that, right, you save yourself the favor. Now, another thing I want to show you guys is this. When you update, whether you're using find by ID and update or find one and update, after when you've written the ID of what you're updating, let me just put in this await. After you've written the ID of what you're updating and the fields you want to update, right? If you want to get back the updated version of what you're writing here, you just need to add this field. You just need to come here and also say new should be true. New is by default false. So now, what I mean is, if I say const const, let's say updated quiz is equals to that. Now, by virtue of me adding this new equals to true, right? When the record with this ID is updated with whatever I put here, right? It's going to send me the updated version of that record, and it is going to store it as updated quiz, so I can do whatever I want to do with it. I can send it back to the user or whatever I want to do with it. But if you don't add this new is true, after when this quiz, right, or when this record is being updated, when the update is over, right, what will be sent back to this updated quiz variable is going to be the former record. That's the record that that you are trying to edit. That's the record before it was being modified. That's what it will be saved here. So if you want the record that existed before, that's before it was modified, then you can just ignore putting that new is equals to true. But if you want the updated record, right, you can then use this. You can then add this new equals to true here. Okay, then what else? So what I just need to do is I'll then res.send, I'll say message edit successful. Why is my server crashing? Okay, then I'll just say updated quiz. Come on, sure. Okay, so let me answer Precious' question. So the simple thing I'll do here is I'll just simply come here and say try catch. I'll move all these things because I'm trying to do them. I'll try my possible best to execute all this. Now, if there's any error that occurs while I'm trying to execute any of these things, that error is going to be caught and be sent to this block of code, right? Or yeah, to this part of the code, right? Then anything I write here is going to be what is going to occur. So I can decide to res.send here, maybe .status of 200, of 500, status, I could say status 500 .send, maybe an error occurred or any of these things. But instead of that, a better thing for me to do would just be to send it to the next. Now, the next in this case is going to be the error handler, because there is no other route that corresponds with /admins /quiz /id and is a put after this one. So I'll just say next and I'll say error. Where is it? Next and I'll say error. Short and simple. The error is being sent to the next route. That's simple. Okay. Then so let me edit that quiz. Where is it? Admin. So what is a baby lion is called what? So I'll just say /that is going to be a put request. Then the answer is A, which is cop. Option A, which is a cop. So yeah, edit successful. Now you see, it's returning option A because that's what I changed. If I didn't put new is equals to true, it would have returned option B and D, which was how it was before it was edited or updated or modified, anyone. Okay, so we are done with that. I'll just remove this part, please. I'll change this back to post. Okay, then what I'll need to do is now I'll need to log in as a user and start answering questions. So let's come here. Let's check what did I do to users when they request a quiz by a quiz number. Now look at this. If we request a quiz by a quiz number, we are returning everything about that quiz. So which means the user can actually see the correct option, right? Which is wrong. You don't want the user to see the correct option. You just want him to see everything except the correct option. And probably you might not, maybe, I don't know, for some reasons, you might not want to let the user know when that quiz was created and when it was updated last. So after when you say quiz await quiz model.find one, you can filter the fields you want the user to see. For example, if I want the user to see question number, option A, option B, option C, option D, I'll just need to type, I'll just say question number, but then I'll say option A, and so on and so forth. But this is long, right? So I have to type all these things. So instead of that, this is me saying this is what I want the user to see. I want him to see question this and that, like. But what if I want to specify things that I don't want the user to see instead of specifying things I want the user to see? So if I say I don't want the user to see correct option, updated at, and created at, the rest will be visible to the user, but the correct option, created at and updated at, will not be visible to the user. So the way I can do that is I can put a minus, and I say minus correct option. Minus correct option. And mind you, don't put comma here. If you put comma, it's not going to work. You now say minus, even if you're specifying fields that they should see, right? Don't use comma. Created at minus updated at quiz by that quiz number. So then when you're answering a question, you say the quiz and the option chosen. Okay, so I'll just move this over to this side. Then I'll create the user's test here. So first, I have to log in as a user. What's that my username again? So I'll just log in. I'll log in as a user. This is login. Yeah, so I'm able to do that. So I could then say, what is this? I would say get. So I'm getting to apps. So it's users. Okay, so yeah, users /quiz / the question number one. Of course, I don't need this, right? Then of course, when I want to answer it, sorry, I'm using of course a whole lot. If I want to answer it, I'll then say post. So while answering it, this is what I can do to prevent a user from answering a question twice. I can say, I could say const quiz already, or let's say question already answered equals to await active quiz model dot. Now there's a method called exists. So you want to check if a quiz, right, for that particular user exists. So you can say where user is raq.user details .user ID, and where is the other one? And the quiz is that quiz, which is the quiz ID. So when you send a quiz, right? Remember that you're logged in, so we can get your user details every time. But when you send the quiz, right? I want to check if that quiz has already been answered by you, so you don't answer one question twice. So what I can do here is I could say Now, this exist is going to return true if it's true that you've answered the question already. But if you've not answered the question already, it's going to return a false. So I could then do this. I could say, if it's true that you've answered the question, then I'll res.send maybe .status of 400 because it's a client problem .send. Then I would say message, this question has already been answered by you. Then don't forget, you now put return there so that it doesn't try to still create that quiz for you. Okay, so that will prevent us from answering a question twice. So when we are answering a question, what do we need to supply? We need to supply the quiz, which is the quiz ID actually. Then we also need to supply the option chosen. So the option chosen here is going to be which option we choose to be the correct answer. Okay, so let me implement this to Mac, right? So Mac quiz, let me see. So to Mac quiz, what do I actually even need? Okay, to just find all the quiz you've answered and mark it automatically. So all I just need to do is just say so this would be answer a question. That would be answer a question. Here would just be quiz, Mac quiz. Mac quiz. So we've logged in as a user. I should copy this of here I would say authorization should be bearer, and then that token, I'll just copy that, paste it here, and also here. So this hash is used to separate different requests, right? I hope you guys know that already. Okay, so I've put the bearer on all of them. So I need question 1. So why can't I access this route? So let's come back here. Let's come back to this user route and let's come here. I still put S. I don't know the reason why I put S in these rows. It's supposed to be user because that's what I saved on the database and that's what I'm encoding to the JWT. So let's see. Let me get question 1 again. Okay. So let's come back here. Let's see quiz number. So let's see. Okay, so I'm using quiz number here and I'm saying question number here. So it's not going to work out. They have to be the same. So question number, then I'm saying question number. Remove the correct option, created at and updated at for me. So let's try it again. Beautiful. So how many colors has the Nigerian flag? So what I'll do is I'll choose this ID and then I would say the correct option is 2, option B. So I'll put the correct option here. Now, this is not the only way quizzes can be done, right? Some other people, right? Some other apps, what they will do is instead of allowing you to pick a quiz by a number, right? They might send, once you query the quiz routes, the back end or the API might be designed to send an array of quiz. So instead of sending just 1 question per time, it might send like 10 questions at the same time or 20 questions at once. Okay, so it just depends on what's the owner of that API, right? Or let's say the owner of that platform wants to achieve. If the person wants users to be able to pick numbers, let's say from 1 to 50, and then they answer the question for that number, then you will implement it this way. But if the question is maybe, let's say an interview, right? An interview would likely be a list of questions that maybe you can't choose, right? You can't choose their number. So in that scenario, you want to return a list, an array of questions that they will answer all and submit at once. So once they hit submit, you mark everything. So let's answer that question. So if I click answer a question, answer recorded. If I try to answer again, you see the question has already been answered by you. Beautiful. So we've solved that problem of trying to answer one question twice. Then let's go for question 2. So a baby lion is called what? So a cup. So I'll say for this particular quiz that my choosing option is option A, which is cup. Answer recorded. Let's go to the third question. I think I should fail one by on purpose, right? So what's the full meaning of TLDR? I'll fail the last one on purpose. So I'll put this here. I'll say option D, yes, too long didn't read. Option D, too long didn't read. Then yeah, answer recorded. Then I think I'll just answer 4 questions. So the 4th question, what's the value of pi in math? So I would answer this one incorrectly. Let me choose option D. I know the answer is 3.1415. That's 3.142 approximately, but let me just choose option C, sha. So I'll choose option C. Post, answer recorded. Beautiful. Then I would want to mark them, right? So I'll just click mark. Okay, so what is it saying? Users, there's no route like mark. So let's come back to users. Okay, so there's no route like mark, rather there is mark quiz. So if I do that, you see, I answered a total of 4 questions. My total correct questions answered is 3. My total incorrect answered questions is 1. I remember I purposely failed 1 question. So I have 3 correctly answered questions. I have 1 incorrectly answered question. Then I have a total of 4 answered questions. And I said per question I answer correctly that I need to have 30 marks. So I have a total of 30 marks. Beautiful. Now, if I try to make this request again, now the reason you're not seeing anything here is after this is being shown, all the everything concerned with that question, right? In fact, with that quiz I answered, everything concerned with that quiz has been moved to the quiz history model. So let's check, was there a route for us to check our history? Let's check. So we did mark a quiz. We didn't do anything for quiz history. So quiz history, let's see, quiz history model. So I would like to register Mongoose paginate here. So I'll say const Mongoose paginate equals to require Mongoose paginate v2. Then here what I'll do is I'll then say quiz history schema dot plugin. So the plugin is going to be Mongoose paginate. Yeah, Mongoose paginate. So then what I'll just come back here to do for the users is I'll just say get sorry, is it supposed to be get? It's supposed to be router dot get and the get would be quiz history. So we can always use this try and catch. This is what I like doing. I'll just say next error. Then down here, what do I want to do? So let's come back here. Let's check this quiz history model. We know that the user is me, is that particular user that is looking for the quiz model. So I'll just simply say const results should be equals to await quiz history model dot paginate where the user, because it's user that we're looking for, where the user is req.user details dot user ID. So what am I simply doing here? I'm finding all the quiz that is concerned with the current user that is logged in, right? Remember, this users for the is saved on the quiz history schema. So we can use that to know that, okay, this is the user that owns that particular quiz history. Then what we can do here is we can say reas.send and then we'll just put in here result. So we can do that. We can also enable the user to view a history or a particular result, right? So we can say we can just say quiz history / ID, which is the quiz history ID. That's that records ID. So can say that the ID should be equals to req.params. req.params, then here would say that we are find by ID. We are finding by ID, and then the ID is just simply this ID. Then we would return that result. So say we come back here, this is get quiz history. So if we come back here to user, then we create that request. We create that request to get history. I'd say get quiz history. Quiz history, then if I send that request, you see, we have the quiz ID or the quiz history ID. We have the total score, which is 30. We have the total correct questions, which is 3. We have the total incorrect questions, which is 1. Then we have the questions we answered actually, but the questions are coming as quiz with the ID, quiz ID, user ID, and the rest. Okay. So we see that here we choose option B, we choose option A here, option D, option C. We also see what's the score. Score is 30, so why is score still appearing here? Okay, so I don't know why this is being created here. So I'll figure that out. But then the important thing is we have the user that answered the question. We have the quiz. The quiz is referring to the quiz that we've been answering, right? So we can actually use this quiz ID, right, to get the quiz later on if we want to get let's say the questions that we answered, right? we can get them using this quiz ID for this particular quiz that we answered. But the good thing is we can always come back to see our score, our high score, or yeah, the score, the questions we got correctly and the questions we got incorrectly at any point in time, any day, any time. So with that said, we've been able to complete our quiz app, right? So we can admins can add questions, admins can log in or register, users can log in and register, register and log in, admins can add quizzes, edit quiz, the users can answer them, and they can see their score, they can see their quiz history. So with that, we've built a simple quiz API, which can be used on the internet by anybody to maybe to host a quiz. So now all this needs is a beautiful front end, right? A good front end engineer and a beautiful interface that people would love and want to use to play their game. Okay, so we can add more questions, we can display the number of questions to the user, and maybe when the user picks a number for a question, the question can then be displayed, and then the user can answer the question and go back to seeing the list of questions with the ones that has been answered by him already. So that's another feature though. How do we know if we've answered question 1, right? And we want to see the list of questions that we've already answered, right? How do we do that? Now, think of it. It's actually a simple implementation. We can pick all the questions, right? And let's implement it. That's not a difficult thing to do. So let's look here. When you answer a question, right? When you answer a question, you get this, you get the quiz, you get the choosing option and the user. Okay, so what we can simply do is down here in the users part, we can come here and get so I think I should send a list of number of questions that have not been answered. Okay, so if I send a list of the number of questions that have not been answered, I think that would actually make sense. So I'll say router dot get, I would say unanswered questions or question numbers. Okay, so unanswered question numbers would be this. We can then say, first, let me wrap this in a try and catch. So here, what I'll simply do is I'll get all the active quiz by that particular user. So this is what I'll do. I'll just get, first, I'll get all the active quiz, right? For that particular user, that's the ones he has answered. But I won't exclude the question number. In fact, instead of excluding the question number, it's only the question number that I'm going to include. So let me try answering. There are 5 questions there. Let me try answering, because if I query this route now, what I will get is I won't get anything. So let me do it. Let me show you. If I say active, let's say res.send, I'll just say answered questions or answered quiz, right? So answered quiz is going to answered quiz is going to give me a list of all the quiz I've answered. And I've not answered any one, Sha. So if I do that, let me create that here, and I'll say users unanswered quiz. But I'm sending answered quiz actually. There's no answered quiz. So let me answer at least one question. So I'll just come back here. I'll say, let me answer question number 5, Sha. So I'll get question number 5. A baby cow is called what? A calf. So I'll just come here to answer it. So I'll say I'm answering question quiz with that ID. And the correct option is D. A baby cow is called a calf. Option D. Yeah, answer recorded. So if I come back here and get Sha answer the ones I've answered, Sha, it's going to show me this object. So but this object has the question number that I've answered, so which is question number 5. Okay, it's question number 5, and then we know that we have 5 questions totally in this that's in our question bank, right? We have a total of 5 questions, but it's the 5th one that I answered. So which means if we want to get a list of unanswered questions, we need to get an array of an array that will contain number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, because those are the questions I've not yet answered. So let's implement that here. We know that what is being sent back to us is an array of unanswered questions. So what we can do is we can look through this array to get the question numbers. Okay, so we can say we can come back here and say, where is it? So for unanswered questions, we can say for let's queue of unanswered questions. Oh, sorry, of answered questions, right? Because I want to get all answered questions. So of answered quiz, then down here, or what I could simply do is I could say, I could simply say const answered number. Answered number should be equals to answered quiz dot map. I could map. Then I could say for each of the questions that I want to return q dot quiz dot question number. So that will be q dot quiz dot question number. So this would house the all the number of answered questions, right? Then I would want to know the total number of the total number of questions I have here, right? So I could then say const total questions should be equals to await quiz model dot count document. I'm not counting by any criteria, so we have total questions. Then what I can do here is I could say const unanswered questions should be equals to an empty array. Then I could say for for let I equals to, I'm thinking I'm writing Python. For let I equals to 0, I should be less than the total questions dot length. In fact, total questions is already the total number of questions there, right? Okay. So this is supposed to be for from 1 to 5, because that's where I want to do. So I'd say that, then I would say I plus plus. Then down here, what do I say? What do I put in here? I would say that if so I'd say if I, because I is the question number. So if I, right, or let's say if answered question, if answered number yes includes if answered question number includes I, in fact, what we should even rather do is we should say if it doesn't include it, then we want to push it. So I'd say if it doesn't include, then we would say it's an unanswered question. Unanswered questions dot push I. Then at the end of the day, we can say that we want to send unanswered questions. So if I query unanswered questions again, you should see an array of numbers. So we have that we have not answered question 1, we've not answered question 2, we've not answered question 3, and we've not answered question 4. So let me answer question 2, for example. So let me come here. Let me answer question 2. So let me send a baby lion is called what? A cub, right? So I'll come here, paste that. I'll say baby lion is called a cub. So option A. I'll answer that, post, answer recorded. So let me close this and let me come and get the number of unanswered questions. So if I send now, you see that 1, 3, and 4 are the numbers left that are not answered. So we can actually send this. In fact, there are a lot of things you can do here. I can even say, I can do this, right? I can say if that question, right, if it exists inside there, right, then I could push this. I can push an object. I can say question number. Question number should be I. The verdict or the state should be answered in quotes. Sorry, in quotes. Then here I could say else. The state, this should be I and it should be unanswered. Now, if I query this, you're going to see a different thing. So we see that question 1 is unanswered, question 2 has been answered, question 3 is unanswered, question 4 is unanswered, but question 5 is answered. So we know that question 2 and question 5 are answered. So the rest are unanswered. So you can also still use this to, maybe if you send this to the front end can look through this array. So if the question is number 1, if it's unanswered, then the user should be able to click. But if the state is answered, then maybe you should disable the click button there. Okay, so this is like my thought process to creating this quiz app, right? If it was maybe sending a list of questions and then answer the questions and submit, then my thought process and my approach would be a little bit different from how I'm doing it now. Okay, so do you guys have any question based on what I've implemented so far? You're confused about how I did something, and maybe you need more explanation. You guys need. Someone is.
Hello, boss.
Yep. Yes.
So what I'm
It's not
saying
there.
is, can you push this your code to GitHub?
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll do that then. I'll do that. I'll do that for this particular one. Yes. So yeah, you guys have asked that question before. So let me right away just do it. So I'll create a public repository, github.com. I'll create a public repository so all you guys can actually see it and clone it again and then play around with it. So I'll just say quiz API. Quiz API, this is public, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I've created it. Let me, yep, paste, please. Yes, then I'll push to upstream. Please push, please push. Oh, I didn't ignore. So there's no git ignore here. That's my bad, sorry. So I'll say new file dot git ignore. So it should ignore .env. It should ignore node modules. It should ignore package log. Package log.json is not necessary that should be pushed. Also, it should should I push this test.rest also? Test.rest, user.rest, admin.rest. Should I push them?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm only ignoring git ignore and node modules and the package log because the package log is going to automatically be generated once you run npm install alongside the node modules. So all you just need to do is create your env and then create the auth secret there. Finish. So I'll just say git add git commits git ignores file added. Or this is usually in present tense, so I would say add git ignore file. Then git push origin main. So I'll paste the link to the repository on this call and I'll paste it on Discord also. So this is the link on this call. Let me paste it here. Yeah, so you can always go through it at any time you want. You can go through it as much as you want. Pick one or two things from there, and just learn. So any more question? No more questions, right? Okay, so in the absence of any other question, we'll call it a day. Thank you very much for coming out to this class, and I'll see you in the next one.